This is the reason why I think it is dangerous today to give any Fulani leading politician power, because they don't have the power to control the Fulani militia. We saw it. Buhari couldn't control them. And like that gentleman said, it is true. The Fulani elite you're talking about, how can he not criticize what the militias are doing? Because them, the elite, are the ones who come and govern the land that the militias will now capture. This is how the land capture occurs. You capture the land, you colonize the area, you say nobody can be your own. Like in the Benue where you're fighting, the Benue are Catholics. The Benue people are 98% Catholic. The Fulani are mostly Sunnis. So what are they looking if not the land, the grass, and the water? And you now want to use that as a reason to kill Nigerians. And the Nigerian government folds its hands and looks the other way. And when we now embarrass the president to go there, he starts talking about communal flashes. Why? The people in the security services, like Ribadu, like Badaru, like Motawale, who can talk to the president, will not lie to him that it's a community. It's not community. There is nothing like Heda's farmers crisis anywhere in Nigeria. No, it doesn't exist. What you have are Fulani's protocols for capturing land. The Fulani seek land. Because right now, with our embrace of democracy, democracy is a numbers game. Fulanis don't have numbers to maintain their positions of entitlement that they have had since the British were with us. So now you have to deal with us. You come to Bauchi, you will have to deal with the people there. You know you have a Shawa people there, Safa Belebas people, they are there. You go to Gombe, you have to deal with the Tangale people there. You go to Plateau, you will talk to the Birom. You talk to the Adaguta, you will talk to the Bokos, you talk to the different people from different areas. But no, the Fulani wants them to accept that they have been able to conquer Hausa, so they should also be able to conquer the Benue. And now you're now fighting a new war, trying to displace the owners of the land because you want their land because it bears good grass and it has water. This is all. There's nothing like farmers say that's crisis. What you have is an ethnic cleansing strategy being used as a ploy to gain land. But what is the government doing?
That's
nothing.
The point.
Even when Nigerians are sacked, because the government is in bed with them. Tinubu is weak. Tinubu is weak because of the Buhari's Afghanization of our security services, which he achieved before he left. Don't forget, when Buhari was there, some of them didn't want to hand over power. They wanted to shoot up the plane when Buhari traveled to leave the Nduku. But other countries didn't want that. And they said it's not true. It took people from other embassies like Britain, Brazil, Germany, the US to go and show at Trademore Estate on the airport road in Abuja where arms were stockpiled to take over government. That was just, then they now were forced to go to election. Even when the election occurred, they refused. When we say, why are you stopping? They say, glitch. Which glitch? Then Tinubu now threatened them, said, look, if you don't give me this, I'll join these people. The problem of June 12 was that election was held, a Southerner won the election, but no, our brothers from the north in the military services refused to allow that Southerner to take. Never ever believed they should hand over power. And that's why you see most of them are now, they are destabilized. They never thought this power should be handed over. Okay, fine. You were in power for 8 years. Buhari now weaponized nepotism against the Igbo. At the beginning, he said 5%. But no, later on, he weaponized it against everyone in the country. Yes. What happened? And now, Tinubu has come. Tinubu is behaving like Buhari, sustaining his nepotism as policy of government. They say, no, we don't want this. The other day, I heard that one retired general say, don't remove the North. Don't go against the North. And I said, so what was that general doing when Buhari weaponized nepotism to exclude the Southerners, especially the Igbo, in appointment to security services? Let me tell you how bad it is. In 2015, Buhari came to power, appointed a minister of State for Petroleum, Ibekachuku designed the gas master plan. Do you know in 2019, when Buhari wanted to build pipelines for master plan, he excluded Imo State. Imo State is home to 54% of our gas reserves. The gas that is available at the Anon, you know, that Anon is Asa, not the gas from there only is about 54% of our entire declared gas. And do you know Imo State was excluded from Buhari's implementation of National Gas Master Plan? This is just to tell you how this bad it is. So if nepotism was carried on to this way, what did those generals do? They kept quiet. Now that Tinubu is repeating the same thing, everybody's up in the air. That's why I don't think, that's why you saw when most of them wanted to do protests against Tinubu, the East said they won't join. Oh. Well, so that's why you're now saying, let us up. That was exactly the reason, because the East said, when we want to vote, your people annul the vote and impose what we do. And when we complain, why the glitch has so done, they kept quiet. So why would you now want me to complain for the same Tinubu that you have put in power? Enjoy the product of your handwork. And that was why the East says. So as they're now calling us for coalition, the East is also going to tell them, and I'm telling it to you directly, if you will not correct the original problem of respecting zoning and allowing the zoning to come, we're not going to work with you. There are people up north, the Fulani in their way, don't want anybody to rule power. It's not just no Igbo man. Nobody should rule. Only them should rule. They want to extend their success over the House of Bokwe states. The Conference of Governors, they asked me, and I said it will not work. Even some retired leaders present before, and I said it will not work. They say, why do I say so? I say the Fulani do not have the numbers to actualize their vision. You see, yes, that issue of saying that it was the British who stopped them. Now that the British are out, they intend now to continue. That's why you will not see any Fulani leader publicly criticize the actions of the Fulani militiamen. If any of them dare criticize the actions of the militiamen, they will be
Atiku did criticize.
No. What? Listen, did Atiku do? Why did Atiku keep quiet when Buhari was president and it was raging? He didn't say anything. He ran away to Dubai. It is now when Tinubu is president, he's talking about the killings and insecurity. Let Atiku mention the Fulani militias. Let him do it. I dare him to criticize the Fulani militia people. I dare Atiku to openly criticize the Fulani militia men. Say, let him do like what Shehu Sani has done. Openly appreciate it is the Fulani militias that are killing and tell them to stop doing this. It is because all of the Fulani leaders keep quiet while the Fulani militias commit these atrocities. That's why we believe all of them are together in it. If none of them will come publicly to criticize it, then why won't you speak openly and generally about what the Fulani are doing? And you say, don't talk about it. It's not true. They went and seized the NBC, used the NBC to penalize Channels Television after I gave an interview. And that time, the big popular channel said, "Catch, who are you?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Why are they harassing my uncles who were asking you, but they don't call you?" I said, "Because they know what I know." All of us know where we meet ourselves. They know I know what they are doing. So they will come and tax channel 5 million, trying to get the media not to allow me to speak. This is just the truth.
Isn't this preposterous, sir? People are worried that this may just be, some sort of figment of our imagination, that it's not true. People have constantly said this, that it's not a correct assertion, that it's just fears of perhaps locals, but it's not true.
Yeah, people can speak in regard to their ignorance of the situation. I have been on this. I speak Fulfulde. I speak Hausa. I speak Yoruba. I speak a lot of... I grew as a Hausa child. I used to pray in the mosque. I call prayer. I do Wallahu Akbar, wa shahada la ilaha illallah, wa shahada Muhammad, and I can do all the ablution and do everything. I grew up as a Hausa child, so I know what I'm talking about. I started telling this country about 12 years ago about this problem. I live in the north, and I grew here in the north, and I know what's going on. But I'm right, you're right. Some people don't believe this is it. And I kept screaming and they didn't keep quiet. Some governors will say, why are you doing this? I said, the more I sustain my propagations, if there are no intelligence reactions to rebut me, it's only a matter of time people will understand it. Today, Nigerians are beginning to understand it. This is the truth. Anybody you see killing any other person to take over their land is not a Nigerian. It is not a Nigerian. Most of the people staying in those new places are foreigners who have just come in. Because the Fulani leaders think that engaging people to kill and take over land is okay. Nobody will talk. Can't you see? It took the president's talk. Why are there no arrests? Why are there no arrests? In 72 hours, we now saw arrests. Doesn't that tell you something? It tells you that the government and the security services know what's going on. But they have been prodded to look the other way. And that's why I tell you, General Danjuma is correct. The army collude. A lot of the elements of the army collude with these people. A lot of the elements in security services collude with them. Would they say they don't know? Of course they know what's going on. Just as the president say, why are there no arrests? What happened? Suddenly they are arrests. Just to tell you that security people also know what's going on. I know who these people are.
When some Hausa people were killed that Friday, the next Saturday, they were arrested for about 22 people who killed them. So why did it take much time?
That is what, this is what goes on.
Attacks?
Don't listen. You don't know who were killed. They may not be Hausas. Okay? It's when people are killed, you start saying Hausas. They may just be the same Fulani something. So leave that alone. You see, once the indigenous people carry out reprisals, this is the way it happens. But when indigenous people are killed, nobody talks. Only if the president say, why are there no arrests? Then you suddenly now see police say they've arrested something. That means they know who is doing this. And from what Governor Leah says, he thinks these are elements of the Mieti Allah Kautohore. Kautohore are based in Nasarawa State, operate from Nasarawa to hit the Benue Valley. They are led by Abdullahi Bello Bodejo.
Bodejo.
I know this because Bodejo is a personal friend of mine. Okay? And I knew when they started.
He was released and exonerated.
Oh, well, he was released because after he was kept there, you see, Bello didn't understand. When Tinubu became president and he continued what he was doing, set up militia, even invited some people in the police who came there, and the militia were just to go and take land from Benue. So when he was arrested for doing those things, he now left. But you can see, after some time, those militias have come back to do what they were doing because they are interested in the lands in the Benue Valley that have water and also has grass. Same thing for Niger State, same thing for Taraba State, Plateau State, and Nasarawa State.
All right, so Enugu State have also witnessed such attacks, especially in
Ehamufu because
area of Enugu State. Sir.
That is true. Ehamufu. You see, that's particular lush grounds you see at Obadibo, stretching through Otupa, through Ibagwa, into Ehamufu. All those are areas with lush vegetations, and that's what the Fulani want. This is what they want. But you see, because settler colonialism did not work in South Africa, did not work in Namibia, did not work in Mozambique, I don't think it will work here. It cannot work here because the way it worked in America was you have to kill the indigenous people. The way it worked in Australia, you have to kill the indigenous people. Same thing as in New Zealand. So the Fulani is not thinking that the way that can work for them is to kill the indigenous people, take over the land, and the ones who are not killed headed into IDP camps. While the government watches. And when you talk to the president, he says, communal clashes. Doesn't that tell you there's a failure of intelligence? How come those who brief the president from the intelligence community don't tell him the truth. So you can now understand that this problem is deeper. The intelligence community is compromised. As Danjuma said, the security community are also compromised. As Governor Zulum says, a lot of people in security services provide information. Even politicians also provide information and cooperate with these terrorists. As Governor Luftwang of Plateau said, they are changing names of some of these communities. So if all these governors are saying this, why is the federal government not acting on it?
After the 8 years of Buhari reign of terror and terrorism in Nigeria, all his agenda could not succeed. From Ruga, Nigeria resisted Ruga, cattle colony, Nigeria rejected cattle colony, and then livestock transformation program, Nigeria rejected it. The last attempt was actually the Wuru census he wanted to do. Nigeria all rejected it. But then, since his 8 years was up, there was nothing they can do. They wanted a situation whereby he will hand over power to someone that will continue the Fulani Islamization agenda program. One, the calculation mistake that they did was, okay, let them hand over power to a Yoruba man who will be a Muslim, and they will bring a VP to actually be a Muslim ticket. That desire to hand over power was not out of sincerity, but it was out of mischief. When they told that the grandpa in the villa now, because he was not looking mentally okay and he was not looking strong, they knew very well that Osibanjo would have become a better president by development and economic antics of this country. But no, because they have interior motives, they decided to bring grandpa, who they thought in their mind that would not last. And they brought Shetima, who was actually a Boko Haramist, that peradventure in an event that grandpa die or become incapacitated, Shetima would take over. But to God be the glory. Since after the swearing in, the grandpa has been like a 40-year-old young man. Now, their frustration began when they discover that they have made a calculated mistakes. One, the grandpa is not dying soon. Secondly, most of the structure that Buhari actually put in power before handing over, they discovered that the grandpa is actually destroying them. They also discover that the emperor, the pharaoh of Kaduna, that's supposed to actually carry their plan and their agenda, they thought he could either become chief of staff or SSG. He did not get any of those positions. Rather, even the minister could not be given to him. It is out of this frustration that you see what is going on in the north today, that they are tried by all means from pillar to pole calling for alliance, that they want to unseat the president. Now, the question here is it only the north that have the ability that can unseat and decide who becomes the president? I know that grandpa in the villa is not doing well economically. But if it is Nigerians that actually want a different president, that is a different ballgame. But it should not be that it is the northern oligarchy that will decide who become president and who lose the presidency. And thank God for the love of Peter Obi, that when they were calling alliance, Peter Obi has stood his ground. He will be the presidential candidate, and El Rufai will not be his deputy except Ahmed Deti. Now, foolishly, they are calling Arayo Boshola, they are calling Rotimi Amechi. These are the foolish Southerners they used during Buhari, and they want to repeat it. I want all the Southerners to know nobody is comfortable with the regime, the president's regime, and the status quo of this country. But let it be that if Nigerians want change, let the change be from Nigerians and not from a few Fulani northern oligarchy.
Welcome back to Local Journal, my people. We've heard everything this man said in this video. He was able to unravel and reveal so many things that many Nigerians do not know. You see, you need to protect your ancestral land with everything, because if you allow the Fulanis, the militias, to invade your land and take over your land and ancestral land, you won't have any place to call your own home or your ancestral land anymore. And they will continue going like this gradually until they capture the whole Nigeria. And that is the reason why we have to come together and be united as one Nigeria at this point, because the fact that it's not happening in your region right now does not make your region invincible, resistant, or potent to this guy's attack. Their grand plan is to capture Nigeria and to have everything in Nigeria as their own. And that is the reason why everybody is saying that do not allow a Fulani man to become the president of this country again. We all know that they don't have the numbers. They've been able to brainwash the Hausas and capture the Hausas, and now they're using the numbers of the Hausas to make up their tiny numbers and to have control over everything in Nigeria. But the fact is this, if we come together in unity and we say enough is enough, we can chase these people out. The former President Muhammadu Buhari, who is from the Fulani extraction, did a whole lot of damage to this country. And it's going to take us decades to get out of this problem that he has brought upon Nigerians. The thing is this, we need to be very intentional about what we want in this country. If we don't want these guys to be among us or to control us again, we can stamp that and tell them that enough is enough, and we will drive them away because they are minorities. They are minority among minorities. So of course they can't come to Nigeria and capture us if we are united. But the thing is this, they are using this divide and conquer method to deceive Nigeria, to divide Nigerians, and to divide the South. And the South is not united, the South is divided, and that is the reason why they can penetrate into the South. This is the more reason why I encourage Southerners to support the Middle Belters, because if they allow or look away and this problem continues in the Middle Beltern region, it is going to encroach into the southern part of this country. And if it continues like that, it will continue to the point that these guys would get hold of Nigeria and they'll get whatsoever thing they want. So the thing is this, we have to be united as a country and fight against these militias and drive them away. It is time for Nigerians to start acting instead of coming on social media to be talking every time. Of course, the presidency is scared of them, Tinubu is scared of them, but Nigerians and indigenous Nigerians don't need to be scared of them because if you lose your ancestral land, where are you going to call your home? So of course, Nigerians need to call up their bluff and tell them that enough is enough. It is time for Nigerians to arise, unite, and drive these militias away. This is all I have to say in this video. Kindly drop what you have to say in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel.